Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. There we go. So, what's going on? Who do we have here? Aftar is here, says Hi Miran. Aftar 41 UK. Oh, thank you very much for that. I hope you're well. Thank you again. I went on a date today. She felt I was too kind and not challenging enough for her. So she said I wasn't a good match. I was upset, but now I'm okay. Yeah, we always get upset when someone, a girl that we go out or we're interested in, shows or exhibits signs of uninterest, a lack of interest, or doesn't want to be with us, or continue that. And that's not because she was the best match for us. We probably know ourselves that we don't want to have anything to do with the woman who doesn't want to be with us. That's given. And that she wasn't really all that. But we are visual. We love women. We want sex. So we try to justify anything good about a girl to make it fit what we need her for, which is companionship, that femininity that we are drawn to, that warm feeling of being with a woman. So we kind of justify, even though she's not qualified physically or mentally or behavioral or whatever it is, but because we are looking ahead for something that fulfills our desire for pleasure, we tend not to refuse her. And even though she's not a good match, we want that relationship because we are hoping to enjoy what is there to be enjoyed. So even though you know it's not a good match, but you don't like to be rejected, you don't like to be not wanted, because we feel every woman should want us. Why? Because we're kind, especially if you're kind, gentleman, well behaved, and all that, and love women and want to take care of them, so on. And so that's the feeling you got, is not because she was all that and she ran away from you, or you couldn't catch her, or you couldn't continue the relationship with. It's because we just don't like the idea of some woman that we have convinced ourselves that she could do, and not wanting to to continue. That's all. So it's that feeling of not being wanted by any woman bothers us. Not that it was the perfect woman for us and didn't want us, so we are now devastated or sad or whatnot. It's just the way it goes with any woman that you somehow convince yourself that is okay, I can do it, I can get in a relationship, or I can satisfy myself in a way of having a companion or a girlfriend or a date or whatever else. But then you're upset because it didn't work out, not because she was perfect, because we just don't like to not be paid attention and by a woman who we thought it'll do. That's all. So glad that you got over it. Hopefully you are. After says, thank you for all your help. You made me a stronger man. That's my boy. After says, I will always stay kind and decent and not pretend to be someone I'm not. Excellent. Some women like men in control and who challenges them, but I find that hard to do. Well, you're an asshole if you constantly want to challenge a woman for no reason, just to show that you're in control. Fuck that. You got to be fair, and if there's something that they're better at it than you, then you got to let them lead. And but you also shouldn't let go your grounds when you're better in something that they are, and they want to interfere, or they want to pretend that no, you got to listen to me. No, that's not going to be accepted either. So I think I've answered your question, Yaftar. And Chinmay is here. Says, hi, Mehran. 21 male India. Hello there. Says, basically, I get anxious whenever I'm eating specific food item. My mind worries that I may not be able to eat it. And that is exactly what happens. I struggle to down it. Soon enough, it transitions into anxiety. My hands get cold and I struggle to keep my composure, tempted to move from the table. The odd thing is, I once enjoyed these recipes. I'm not sure if past trauma, where such an event had occurred, prompt this anxiety. I also had an argument with a vegetarian friend who accused me of immorality for consuming meat. Well, fuck him. Tell him, listen, your ancestors were never really, vegetarian. They were running around trying to kill a dinosaur to, cook it and eat it. I mean, a million years ago, what are you talking about? We are a mixture. We like vegetables for, nutritional needs, and we're carnivores. We like meat. That's where you get most of your protein. But if you prefer not to eat meat, don't. But don't bloody hell come and tell me that I have immorality because I eat meat. It always bothers every human being that they have to take a life in order to feed himself. A cow, a rabbit, whatever it is that we eat, it is always saddens me that we have to kill them, take their life to bring sustenance to ourselves. That's given. But that's the way of life it is right now. I mean, we have to survive, and that's the way we get our nutritional values. And it's not just us who are committing this out of force majeure, out of necessity. It's the way of the nature as well in many other things. The tiger tear up a lamb, and lions tear up something, crocodiles tear up this and that. And many species in this world need meat, and we are one of them. But some of us have trained ourselves or believe that we want to have vegetables only. Well, more power to you. But don't come and try to tell me that I have immorality. Nature's way and nature's organism has made this to be part of how we survive, as it is for many other animals. And we are an animal as well. The lion tears up other animals and kills them and eats them. That's the only way they can survive. For us, is the same. It's unfortunate, it's saddened to take any life. I love animals, and every time I eat, if I want to think that it was a cow that was killed, I feel sad. But at the same time, maybe I'll just stay away from it for a day or so, but eventually it's either me or them. And you know what the answer is when you look at your own survival and health and your family's health and survival, and a cow's or an animal. As much as you love them and you cherish their life and root for them, at the same time, you root more for yourself and for your family. So I don't see any guilt there. That's how God created us. We need meat and we eat meat. If you kill an animal for no reason, not consuming its meat, that is immorality, but not for your sustenance and taking care of yourself and your family. And Chinmay says, it could have evolved into OCD fear. Besides, I've had a few more instances in the past where I couldn't eat due to health issues, although I am fine now. The fear of uncertainty may be impacting me. You told me a lot here, but you didn't tell me fear of what? That the food is laced with bacteria, that the food's going to make you sick, that the food's going to get stuck in your throat. What's the fear? You told me about your anxiety of eating, not being able to down it, but what do you think happens if you down it? That's what I didn't hear. So, and instead of focusing on that, what you explained about whatever the reason is, which I still don't know, focus on how important and vital it is for you to survive. That's why you're eating it. Bring a reason for you that why it is so important for you to chew it well and have a little bit of a maybe apple juice or tea or something to soften it well as you chew it and swallow it, because it's a sustenance you need to be able to fulfill your plans during the day and take care of families and everything else that it's upon your shoulders as responsibilities and duties. When you focus on the purpose that you're eating, how necessary and vital it is to you, your well-being, and the rest of the clan that rely on you, then you would be able to find good reasons and not focus on anything else but how important this is for you to eat it properly, relaxedly, and do what you got to do. Tim Subs says, 19 Male England says, hello, Mehran. Hope you're well. It's a nice day. Well, maybe it's a nice day there. It's freaking foggy and raining here. Well, it's funny that England is supposed to be nice day. It's probably the same kind of weather that it is here, isn't it? But anyhow, thank you for that. As far as wishing me to be well, I appreciate that. Says, I have exams next week. I'm feeling nervous as I failed my last ones. Last one is dead, is not there. You're not in that time and space, and your knowledge has been changed. You're increasing your knowledge, and you have experience now. So definitely you're going to pass this one. And no doubt about it. You can pass that in your sleep. Why? Because you're going to be focusing on this. You won't be focusing on, I failed last time. The last time doesn't exist, dead. It cannot bother you. None of it. In fact, if anything, the last time made it possible for you to study better and be stronger and have experience. So definitely you'll pass this one because of the experience you got from the last one. So that's how you should be thinking, because that's a fact. And my parents weren't happy. School called them in for a meeting. Yeah, it's a big fucking deal. You do your best. What I want you to do when you go to your exam, sit there and breathe and say, I've done my best. Right now, I'll relax. I don't connect myself to the outcome. I detach myself from the outcome. I'll enjoy taking the exam and do the best I can. And let's see if I can take the challenge, if I can answer the questions. And it's a game I'm going to play. And I'm excited to play this game because I've studied hard, I'm prepared. I want to see what they're going to dish out. And I'm going to show what I can do to myself, not to anybody else, between me and the question. Between me and the question. And remember, most of the time, the answer is in the question. Read the question carefully. Understand the question carefully. Don't overanalyze it, but understand it carefully, and the answer is in the question. You'll do fine. Don't worry about it. Your experience will help you this time. And so, since then, I improved my grades a lot, but not in actual exam, but more like topic test at school. Any advice for not allowing your past dictate your future? Yeah, because the past doesn't exist. Future does. Past doesn't exist. It cannot, in a million years, affect you in what you're trying to do right now, because that's just a memory. Memory is virtual, is not actual, has no power to come into the actuality of life. What you're doing tomorrow or whenever it is next week is the actuality of life. You're in total control. Whatever you do, your decision. The past has no place in it, has no role in it. Past is dead. Nothing can bring it back to affect you. Your brain is changed, your information is changed. So all the prerequisites, all the field of the known is changed. Therefore, you're going to look at the exam with a whole different wisdom and knowledge. Nothing going to affect you because the present moment has got nothing to do with the past as past is dead. And you're focused and mindful on the present moment. In that way, the past will have not been any ability to affect you at that moment. So fully focus on your exam, what it is in front of you, read it well, relax and say, I'm going to do my best. There's nothing else I could do. Don't worry about, oh, I didn't read that chapter 2 times. I should have read that. No, forget it. All done. I'm just going to sit, rely on my intuition, wisdom, understanding, knowledge, and I analyze it and I answer it based on the information I have. That's all. You can't do anything more. So don't worry any more than you should, because that's bullshit. And don't let them put a fear into your heart that if not this, if nothing happens, you just do your best. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. You just study good, study well, and do your best at the exam, relaxly and enjoy the exam. And the rest of it is all bullshit. Forget all the consequences of garbage they put into your head. And Preston says, I have finally found you at the right time and right place, Master Mehran. How are you? Hello, Princeton. Good to see you. Where are you? Are you in Australia or Philippines? Simple Jack says 225 California. Thank you for the time, but what the hell? It's 228 here. And Sisin says, hi from Italy. Come stai? Buongiorno, buonasera. Sisin says, hey, Mehran, do you have an advice on how to feel better about a breakup? Yes, I do. Get another girlfriend. First of all, tell me your age, gender, where you're tuning in from, so I can address your questions properly. And once you do that, I'll come back to you. I'll go to the ones who already have some information. And well, since I don't have any, I'll just read your question while I'm waiting for you to tell me how old you are and if you're a man or woman. 22 from Rome. Okay. The rest of it, don't give it to me in trickle down. Age, gender, and I know where you're tuning in from. I know the age, I know Rome. The rest. There we go. Was that too hard? Cosa ridi? Perché ridi right now? Oh, what are you laughing? Okay. Now, he says, I was with this girl for 3 years. You're 22. That means you started at age 19. All right. 3 years. 1 year off. What? I was with this girl for 3 years. 1 year off. 1 year off and on. 1 year off, on and off from her. Okay. I was really in love with her. And now I can't enjoy simple things. Oh, well, you will. As soon as you see another pretty girl and you wish for her, because at your age, you think you're in love, but it's really that connection and bonding between female and male and that lust for sexuality and warmth and to feel like a man when a woman smiles at you and you hold her hand, you feel elevated. That's not love. That's what love is at that age. But the real love is yet to come when you're over 28 years old, and then you begin to know who you really are as far as your character and as far as your standards and expectations from the character of a woman that you want to be with. And then you start seeing each other's lack or compatibility, lack of compatibility or compatibility in what fields and how. And through time, you get to know each other's consciousness better and you bond on the consciousness level. According to the content of your consciousness, you find things in common, you find things you're going to compromise, you find things to tolerate each other, and you get each other's values. And that is how to get to know each other's persona. Because the love that you're talking about, you see the girl, nice hair, nice nose, nice teeth, nice body, and this and that, and you think it's love. It's lust. But once you get to know her consciousness, which in this past 3 years, you probably didn't. Neither one of you, because you're mostly thinking about all, you know, um, superficial stuff. You know, going to the party, being together, and the study, or going here, going there. You know, just you're not really focused on each other's consciousness. Why? Because there's not much really in it at that moment as a developed consciousness, so to speak. You're still learning things from universe, from nature, from experiences in life, and you're adding to the knowledge and to the way you're being put together and so on. And then when you're like 28 years old, you both have had enough experience about what life is all about, what experience you've gone to, how you have really shaped yourself, how you have handled and managed challenges through your life. You've become familiar with your character, and then you also learn about each other, see how the other one has gone through this journey of life to that point. And then you see if you have things in common on conscious level or not. And that's the beginning of having a real interest in each other. And then through time, by seeing how you affect each other, how you treat each other, how unselfish and loyal and dedicated and responsible and reliable and so on you are, and then you will see love growing. Love happens in the conscious level. So when you tell me that, I want you to understand what really love is. Did you love her? Or did you love what she was doing for you? Did she love you? Or she loved what you were doing for her? These are two different things. It's not the same as loving a persona. So be patient. This is nothing to worry about. You will enjoy everything even better than before once you see that one of those Italian girls who really is about to be a woman, and it really treats you nice. The energy and the smile that it gives you carries a lot more vibes, and you feel great to be in her presence. And then you, at this age, you will have that experience as well. And then at age 25, you probably may be separate from her as well. And eventually, when you get to age 28 and 30, you're ready because you have a good understanding of what kind of woman you're looking for. Right now, anything with a pretty leg or pretty boobs or pretty face, we're game at that age. Wait till you really deliver yourself to yourself first, and then you know what kind of woman you want. And then you decide if that's the kind of woman. And at that time, I promise you, at that time, you will look back to this relationship and you'll say, oh, she wasn't the right one for me, for sure, because you have changed so much. And if you would have been with her by the time you get to 28 and you've seen how much you've changed and how much she would have changed, you say, I can't stand her. That's not for me. Now, this is the duration of this relationship. You learn something from it, and you're growing better and bigger and more experienced, and that's part of the journey of life. So enjoy it. It's a beauty of life. Princeton says Philippines, but we'll visit UK next month. So if I catch you live again, I'll be in a different place. Okay. Do you do live stream on regular dates? I usually try to do live stream every night about midnight here. So it'll be like, I don't know, 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning in Europe somewhere, different places. And so, yeah, I'm trying to do more live stream because it looks like we don't see live streams. We don't see any exposure for the channel. Somehow, perhaps I might be shadow banned. I don't know, because I talk about all kind of issues here. People with OCD, OCD subsets, HOCD, and other topics that is important to all kind of people, heterosexuals, homosexuals, and perhaps this is not in line with the narrative of the, I don't know, YouTube or these social medias, and so I don't get the exposure. I mean, we have over 3,000 videos on this channel covering everything from thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, breakups, how to move on, the inner movement of the psyche, OCD, OCD subsets, components involved in OCD, and what components of the brain are involved, and how we can move on, how we can rewire the brain using experts, scholars such as Dr. Schwartz, Dr. Philipson, Dr. Jan Weiner, their logics and their research and their views, which you can watch on their own channels and pick up things and one or two things from it. And so they may or may not like what we talk about it here. I don't know. So while I have no affiliation with any of these experts that I named, but I use their research and I try to use it in my delivery, and perhaps social media doesn't want such focus on such topics, which is very necessary for people. But anyhow, I'd appreciate if you guys can, promote the channel any which way you can to help the channel to reach people, more people, and help more people. Princeton have sent us a super chat, and that is, I think it's I believe it's Filipino peso, and it is 249 pesos. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. And Princeton says, thank you for everything. You have been a tremendous help in my life for many years. It's time to give back as a start. Okay, thank you very much. The channel appreciates that. We could use the finances to advertise a little bit more and do whatever it is that is necessary to do to promote this channel. Again, thank you for that, Princeton. And Cisin says, love your work and your empathy. Thanks again. You're quite welcome, Cisin. How do you say it? Prego or due di hambre? Whichever fits. So Tim Subs is here. All right. So we now have Tim Sub says 19 male England. Thank you for that. Says Marin, I'm assuring you wouldn't recommend marrying young. What do you think of people who stay together from 16 onward? But onward is not clear how far. Let's say it's about you. I don't know if it is, but let's say you're 19. You've been with this girl since 16-year-old, let's say, as you said here, and you're so gung-ho at the moment. At the moment, at age 19, and she's 19, obviously, so she's the world for you. She's a perfect girl for you. Same age, possibly same interests, same energy kind, same, positive outlook to life and all that. But that's this age for both of you. Your expectation is this: a pretty girl, age 19, you're 19, and you have no more expectations, understanding that you would expect differently in the near future. You can't see that. And you very well may not, because you could be growing together, parallel, and finding more wisdom through life together and staying together and feeling just fine. But the other side of the coin is also you grow and you develop, and your consciousness creates a certain kind of image of you, about you. You see yourself to achieve certain things. You learn a thing or two here and there, experiences that come about from a school or from a job that you get. And eventually you see your persona is naturally, like any other human being, changes through time. And at that certain time, let's say 25 or 26, you begin to think, well, I'm not really committed to the same kind of girl with that kind of a mentality. And as wonderful as it was, we were together, but we are not really that compatible anymore. So why is it we're still together? Because we're used to each other. We are used to following and living in an order which has been created from a routine, which has been created from mechanical processes, which has taken both of us to create that. Because we've been doing things together, going to cafe together, going on a bus maybe, or driving to school together, or going to work together, getting up together, eating together, going shopping together. So all these mechanical processes created a routine, which created a norm, an order in our life. And through that order, we function, and our brains find security in that order that has taken two of us to create it. And we don't want to break that order because we feel lost, we feel imbalanced. And for that order to continue, we need both of us. So somehow that would be the magnet to keep you guys together. It's not that you guys really are compatible anymore. Your consciousness have changed, your standards have changed, you expect different things from your girlfriend, and she may expect different things from her boyfriend. And the ideas in life, things to be maybe a little bit separated. So all those differences, conflicts, and divisions exist, but then the magnet and the need for the order to be there, which takes two of you to put it together, makes you guys stay stuck, stay together. Yet there's a resistance you want to separate because of the differences that have come up due to your consciousness developing differently through time. But yet that need to be together to create that order is there. And so you kind of trying to pull away, come together, pull away, come together. After a while, you say, fuck it, I can't take it anymore. And you'll separate because you started it so early. Okay, it has a good point that you get used to each other. But you can't live a life just because you're used to each other. It's your habit to see each other. You want to be able to see that you guys can understand each other, compatible, treat each other well, unselfishness, reliability, responsibility, accuracy, credibility, all of that. If all that stays, which you don't know, it may, wonderful. Why not? But I'm giving you caution that just because it's been great till now, you don't know onward how it's going to be. If it continued to stay as wonderful as it is right now, even if you guys develop and change to different expectations, different standards, and different outlook of life, great. If it stayed the same, great. But be prepared, it might not, because every human being changes as they grow, and their expectations, abilities, and understanding and persona of themselves also changes. So their expectations of their partner will also change to a different quality. And at the same time, you may, as wonderful as it is to get used to, you may actually grow tired of each other because you find a kind of think, well, what else is there? There's no new things to learn from her. I know everything about her, so it's monotonous. I mean, if you think that way, that will also be one of the reasons you're going to end up separating. So my suggestion is enjoy it as it is right now. Be fully mindful of it. Treat each other well and love each other as much as you can at any level that you can, and see if you can go through life as many years as it takes. If it took another 2 years, great, cherish it and separate with love if you needed to. If it took 10 years, great, but don't give it the word of certainty for the next, the whole throughout our life. It may not happen. Then you'll be totally disappointed. Just enjoy it for what it is right now, and don't try to drive and draw a conclusion and a certainty that this will be, because then you're setting yourself up for a big disappointment should this not continue as you hoped or planned for. And Majid is here. He says, Salam Mehran, Salam Majid. says, very happy to be here with you. Plus, the gym seems to be playing off. You look jacked. Yeah, I am actually. So here it is. I am jacked. For the first time in my life, I don't know if I ever shared with you guys or not. I have a visible six pack at my age. And I never had that in my youth when I was riding, jumping over 96 fences with 6 horses. I had a very flat and maybe inwardly tummy, but I didn't have a six pack. Tennis times, didn't have a six pack. Soccer, didn't have a six pack. Aikido, didn't have a six pack. I was fit, but didn't have a six pack. But I've been going to the gym every night. I didn't think about building any six pack or anything. I just went to the gym, went to the forest for a hike, and enjoyed myself, but every night continuously. And one night I came home, took my shirt off in front of the mirror, said, "Holy shit, I have a visible six pack." So from then on, I feel superior compared to previous years and many other people in the gym. And by the way, actually, I do pretty damn good workout. Sometimes I bring my younger friends in awe. They say, "How could you lift that much?" Well, some things I do much better than the others, even younger ones, and some things I don't. Either I don't want to, or I haven't been trained, or I don't have that power, or I haven't tried it and don't think I want to try it. So that's I focus on the things that I will do really good, and I try to maintain the rest of it. And thank you for your positive comment. I appreciate that. And Susan says you can say grazie a te. Grazie, grazie a te. Grazie a te, is that what you're saying? Grazie a te. That means thank you. A te means of you, from you. Is that what it is? Grazie or grazie. Grazie. All right. Now, Devon says, "Hi, Mehran, 31 male, New Zealand." Let me see. Let me see if I remember. Kia ora. Kia ora. That's what it is, right? I remember. I think Keith was one of our regulars, I think, if I say his name right. And I learned that from one of your countrymen. He's a very nice guy joining us at our live here now and then. And Divan says, do you believe there is a link between a person who had a massive love failure and through anger and frustration, after it is over, they go on to become a serial killer? No, not at all. Many people have failure, or I don't call it failure, an experience in a relationship that doesn't go as either one or both of them hoped for. And that's a normal part of journey of life. It's nothing devastation. It's not end of the world. It's one relationship that somebody didn't want to continue with the other one. And the other one should not be devastated or take it personal that because that somebody didn't want me, then nobody wants me or I'm no good. No, it's her view, one person's view. It's no different. Pretty much, I know it's silly, but that's the truth. It's pretty much the same as somebody says, "I don't like spaghetti." Okay, but the spaghetti doesn't go rotten, doesn't go bad. It's not losing its nutritious values, doesn't lose its taste, doesn't lose its popularity, doesn't lose the fact that it's so delicious. One person doesn't like spaghetti means that person doesn't like spaghetti. But the spaghetti remains a spaghetti, and many people still love it, enjoy it, and it has its own taste and nutritional values and everything else about it intact. So what's the anger for? So many other people are lining up to have the spaghetti. You present yourself to so many other possibilities out there because she is not the embodiment of the universal life. Just another human being gets up in the morning, washes her face, shits in the bathroom, the same as everybody else needs to pay rent and eat food and go to work and all that. So it's not like a deity or God has refused you. If some girl doesn't want it, okay, fuck it, don't. And why should you be so angry for what? You may be disappointed. Okay, fine. Every one of us gets disappointed when a girl doesn't want to continue, or when a relationship breaks, or when even we have to end the relationship because we don't think, but we still feel sad. That's normal. That's a human feelings. But there's no reason to go in a rage or harm anybody else or any property or anything. That's stupid. That's because of that person's lack of understanding of what the journey of life is all about, all the lessons and experiences we encounter in it, and the fact that why does it have to lead into harming others because you couldn't continue a certain relationship that you thought is palatable to you. I mean, that's being uncivilized, selfish, a jackass. There's no reason to harm others just because something didn't work out with you. There's so many things I want in this world. Should I now bring hell to other people? I'm here making 3,000 videos on this channel, helping people mostly for free. But the channel has only 28,000 subscribers. And my live stream, instead of having 1,400 people, he has 14. And that's the top number now. So should I now go and start beating my head to the wall or cracking the window of my car? What would that get me? We don't have enough money to advertise, to promote the channel. As good as it is, people swear by it when they find it. They have a hard time finding it, but when they find it, they swear by it. They say, you'd save my life. I've had many emails and comments such as the one that I just told you. Many people around the world swear by this channel's content and say over and over, you saved my life. But where is the finance recovery of it? People hardly see our channel. So should that make me devastated? No, I still continue because I only care about the ones who found it. And I'm appreciative of the fact that this channel has helped so many. And that's my motivation. Now, if the YouTube or the social media doesn't like the stuff that we cover in here, well, fuck them. I don't care. I'm a human being, a free human being. I'm here to help people the best way I can. If somebody doesn't agree with these information being passed on to people who need it, well, that's on them. I'm not going to stop talking about it. They can shadow ban me. It looks like maybe they have. That's why we don't circulate as much. The top videos that we make just doesn't circulate. TikTok, YouTube doesn't seem to be really thinking about all these things that are so important to people's psyche, help them to become more confident and enjoy their life better. Somehow they want to push their own narrative. If that's the case, I'm not sure. I'm just speculating. If that's the case, well, it's on them. But I continue what I should continue. So that thing, that using other people, bringing harm to other people just to get your anger out, that's most stupid things that a human being can do, because that doesn't change anything and it harms people. And we should all know our purpose of existing in this life is not to harm other people. It's to learn the journey. So if anything, we got to make sure we don't end up harming people. That's all. All right. The best DVG says, hi, Mehran. Haven't been in your live for maybe 4 years. Then shame on you. Everybody, shame. You're looking way better. Don't you age? Damn. Well, I don't know. Tell the girls. I just I know that myself, but all right. So it means you're welcome. Grazie to. Grazie te. Grazie te. All right. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Thank you, Susin. And Roger Histler Jr., rockin' the oldies. That's a whole truckload of call sign. Says, hey, man, Roger here, 61 from Kentucky. Oh, land of the horses. I really like to see Kentucky one day and ride horses there. And says, nice biceps. By the way, oh, thank you very much. Yes, it is, isn't it? I've worked hard on it. My guns. All right. Let's see. Okay. And we have Kamran Etamadi's here. Says, hi, Mehran, male 25, Indiana. Hope you're well. Thank you very much, Kamran. Good to see you here. Let me check the time. It's 2:57. I should be out of here by 3:30 because then I want to get to my mom. I don't want her to wait for me. She's alone in the care center. And so I got to be mindful of the time. And Kamran says, how can we stop focusing on all the good past memories with our ex? I'm constantly living in the past memories in my mind and can't seem to stop it. All right. What has it gotten you? What has it gotten you? These reminiscences and these memories and pleasant memories that you talk about. What has it gotten you by doing and enjoying that pleasure? You see, you have to understand how synaptic neurons work. You do that because you don't have other outlets to bring as much dopamine to you as reminiscing on the pleasant memories of your ex relationship. And for that reason, hear me out, hear me well. This is very important for all of you guys. And you don't hear that from so many other channels, if anything at all. When you keep reminiscing, you get a shot of dopamine every time that you think, so wonderful. And perhaps you have a cup of tea and drink, she was amazing. We went there, it was so relaxing. Shot of dopamine coming in. And so you kind of get high, you feel good, but then you crash. And in order to feel good, you got to think about that again. So you get sad, you go up, down and up, down and up. And then after a while, those memories don't give you the shot of dopamine that you wanted as big as the last time, because now you're getting used to these memories. They're not really that huge, pleasant surprises because you constantly remind yourself of it. So now you got to think about more of the memories, more juicier ones, the other stuff. So you go deeper and you bring more of those pleasant memories of the ex relationship into your mind to get the same amount of dopamine. So you stimulate your synaptic neurons often and hard. And when you do that, because you're addicted to this, because that's another chapter. If I want to go through it, it'll be an hour talk. But because you've been constantly reminding yourself of the ex relationship and getting a shot of dopamine, now after a while, you're not doing it to just remember the good times. You're doing this memory trip to get dopamine, because dopamine is addictive. So now you're addicted to dopamine. And while your first main purpose to remember the ex relationship was to feel good, and because there's nothing better you have created as far as a relationship is concerned, you would keep going in there to feel good. But because you were feeling good, you were getting a shot of dopamine. And because you've been doing it a lot, you've been keep getting a shot of dopamine. Dopamine is addictive. You have become addicted to the dopamine. Now you're doing it to get the dopamine, not just because you want the memory. You may think it is, but it's actually addiction to dopamine. And all through this time, you've been also stimulating the third center in the striatum in midbrain basal ganglia, which is the habit center. So after a while, you're not even recognizing that you're doing it to get the dopamine because it's now your habit. You're just doing it because you think you got to do it. And that becomes a problem, and it starts affecting your health and your time and your focus and everything else. So the best thing to do is shut that down and come out of the memory, because memory is the past. Past is dead. So your life is now, have been for the past while, in the death of the past. Get that shit out, come into the present moment, be in the actuality of life, make effort, get a new relationship, a new girlfriend, and begin to live again without these need for these memories, because you haven't replaced a better actuality of life here. So you keep going in there to find the same order. And again, it's connected to the order that you had before. And the mind is trying to find security in the order of life. And since that order is broken because she's not with you anymore, and you guys created that order, that routine of life together, now the brain still wants to find the order to feel secure in it, and the order doesn't exist. It goes to the memory. In the memory, feels good and comfortable, the brain does, but also sees her. When you see her, the prerequisite file for desire to be born is already recorded in the memory. That triggers open because you saw her in the memory, where the brain went to get security from the order that was recorded in the memory. And when that file is open, the brain thinks all the prerequisites for desire to be born is refreshed and it's new again, and you desire her again. Because you desired her again, you can't get rid of this business of going back in the memory reminiscing, because you're now desiring her. So you will do more of it. You'll do more of it, you get more dopamine. You get more dopamine, you get addicted. You get addicted, it becomes your habit. And the habit, you can hardly break it unless you realize it's all a non-existent virtual life, and you got to have your life in the actual moments, and you need to be here. And the kicker here is synaptic neurons have a surviving mechanism, meaning when you stimulate synaptic neurons often and hard, they die. And because they don't want to die, they have a down-regulating mechanism, meaning when you stimulate them often and hard, they know they will die, they downregulate and bring the number of synaptic neurons available to be affected and stimulated to secrete the dopamine. They bring those numbers down so they won't die. So they bring it down so they won't be stimulated so hard, so they won't die. And when they bring the number of synaptic neurons to be stimulated down, you won't get as high as you would normally get with that shot of dopamine that is secreted, because the number of the synaptic neurons, number of the sensories that would create that dopamine is being reduced. So what do you have to do to get the same high? You got to hit a higher drug, right? Because when people are on drugs, and synaptic neurons realize that they're getting high and they're being stimulated for the dopamine and they don't want to die, they downregulate the number of synaptic neurons, but then you won't get high with the same amount of drug, but you want to get the same high as you did last time. But now the regulator has brought the numbers down, so you won't get that high. So what do? You got to up the drug. And you up the drug, they downregulate again. You up the drug, they downregulate again, to the point that you up the drug, you get nothing. That's when you're addicted. Same thing here. You're now used to it, you keep doing it, and it's a habit. And then because of the down-regulating mechanism, they reduce the number of synaptic neurons to be stimulated to give you that dopamine. So what do you have to do? You have to think of this memory of X relationship more often, deeper and deeper and deeper, in order to get the same amount of dopamine to feel good and secure. And they keep down-regulating, you think more, down-regulating, you keep more, you get addicted and you can't get out of it. You just fuck up your whole life because all day long you want to think about her and the relationship. If that's what you want, then continue. You're going to go to hell with this kind of a behavior. Or if you really love yourself and love life and appreciate your life and opportunity of life more than the bullshit of the ex relationship, which is called X, that means doesn't exist anymore. So why do you cater to it? Then you got to understand this, come to the present moment, make and build a life and go on a strong, find another girlfriend and enjoy your life. That's your remedy. And if you can hear that from any other channel, I challenge you guys. All right. Let's say, Maggie says, Mehran, what are your thoughts on Andrew Tate? Plus, I am glad you know you're not circulating. What is that? All right. Well, Andrew Tate, yeah, he's got lots of good things, he says. Yeah, in most of the things he say, I like. And I haven't really watched him often. I here and there see some things on TikTok, and I know of him. I know generally what he says, and many of the things he says make sense. And it's something that every real man thinks and knows. So it's not a real news to me. It's just nice to see somebody else with that kind of a social media power and popularity is able to deliver that. So more people, if they're not aware of it, they will. And we have Charaf Edin Oyahidi. Okay, I hope I didn't butcher the name. Says Salam Mehran 25. She okay, where from, guys? I don't understand. Let me know if you're male, female, your age, and where you're tuning in from. I'd appreciate that. I just see here 25 she. That means you're a lady and you're 25-year-old. Where from? It says always resent answering my question. Oh, I see. You're saying Salam Mehran 25. So obviously you assume that I know you're a man, which I don't, but okay. And then you're continuing saying, she always resents answering my question, even normal ones. Once I kept asking, she said, you don't understand me. And break up with me. I stopped messaging her that what to do if she's back. Tell her, adios, amigos. I don't want to have anything to do with you. You can't communicate. We can't have a relationship. I ask you a question. You say you don't understand me. Well, help me understand you. You don't. And if you want me just go into, I'm assuming who you are and being controlled by you because you constantly label me as I don't understand you, that's no way of communication. I'm not going to fall for that shit. So you go find someone who understands you blindfolded without knowing you. I mean, who the fuck would know you if you don't explain yourself by your actions, by your behavior, emotions, and words and vocabularies and communicating? And you expect that from me, so might as well. Adios, amigos. That's it. You don't have that much of time to keep wasting for this crazy looking, behaving people, men or women, and then 2 years, 3 years later, wasted your time and waited until you find that she's really crazy or uncommunicative or incapable of communicating, and then look for somebody else. You don't have time. You got to know in the first 6 months of a relationship if this is going to work or not. And if you think there's so many conflicts and divisions, the fuck it. You don't have time to fix everything and fix it. Okay, she may be right. Then go find somebody that is understanding you without you really doing anything. I'm not a magician. That's what you say. Divan says, thanks for your response. I'm doing a research paper on the serial killers. So I wanted to ask you, well, then you bloody hell tell me that at the beginning, because you scared the shit out of me and thinking that, what is it? You're going to be doing that? You think that's a good model, or you think that's a reason to do any kind of that shit? So please make your intentions from the question, because I don't think that you're doing a paper. I think it's about you or somebody. It's just, puts me in a position of not trusting what it is that you're after, and that's not fair to me. Devon, please. It says, I wanted to ask you, in your opinion, do you believe it could have started from love failure or intrusive thoughts? Intrusive thoughts, then you see, everybody has intrusive thoughts, and love failure, no, nobody that I could think of that is sane. And we're talking about sane people, that from sanity driving them because of that to something insane. So if you're sane, you would not think or connect any love failure to that kind of a behavior. And in regards to intrusive thoughts, everybody has intrusive thoughts. Every single human being has intrusive thoughts. But some has a component of the brain called a nucleus midbrain striatum in basal ganglia is malfunctioning, so the intrusive thoughts remains or lingers. It could be about any topic. But that again, it's not something that would actually, that's an OCD subset. It's not going to be something that is going to lead or make the person, because, for example, a person who has a harm OCD or feels like if children are near him, he could harm them, those people actually never harm that child. They'll actually protect the child. But that's the intrusive thought that they're dealing with. And because of that, they actually become more careful. So they won't do it, even though the brain keeps telling them something. Or somebody has harm OCD and the brain says, well, take the knife, cut your arm or something. They may feel that way, but they actually won't do that. Or they have a harm OCD thinking that they may affect someone's life negatively by if they neglect doing something that they're supposed to do. So they become actually more of a caring end of it. So I don't think intrusive thought, if the person has got psychological problems, deficiencies, or something to do with, manically depressed or schizophrenia or something, it could possibly, be connected to that. Again, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychotherapist. These are things you got to ask them and scholars of that sort. But again, things to do with depression and manic depression or schizophrenia and all that could affect the very person's behavior, but not to that limit of turning into what you alluded, while it can actually go that way if the person is also delusional and believes a certain suggestions of the brain that, let's say, certain so and so is a harmful entity for humanity or to you, and they believe that intrusive thought, and they may actually act on it, not because of the intrusive thought, because of their lack of ability to shut down or deviate or differentiate the intrusive thought from actuality, and they believe the intrusive thought as fact, and their defense mechanism ends up making them do something that it's insane, and it's got nothing to do with intrusive thought, but it has to do with their inability to shut down the intrusive thought when it shows up, recognizing it that it's intrusive thought. They don't recognize it, they take it as fact because they have believed the brain is spoofing facts and nothing but facts, which is insane itself, because the brain is so fucked up that it's constantly lying to us and throwing us monkey wrenches and all that. So we got to know about that. So that's pretty much what I can say in this time without much of more detail. And we have Boxing Watch says, hello, Mehran. I hope life treats you well. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. If I had another 1 million subscribers, then it would be treating me well. But I'm appreciative of what I have. What's going on? Says 18 male, Ireland. Ireland, the land of beauty and greeneries. I like this girl, but we haven't spoken much. I want to talk to her more, but she's always surrounded by her friends, and I have a bad habit of freezing up around her when she's near me. I kind of want to message her on Instagram, but when my friend messaged her friend, when my friend messaged her friend, her group came and started looking at us. I like her, not her friends. Okay. Well, Instagram is bullshit in way of trying to get to someone. If you see her and you know her, what's going to happen? You're 18-year-old and she's probably the same age. Just go there, extend your hand, and say, my name is so and so. If she doesn't know you or she knows you, says, I don't know if you've already shaken her hand or have met her or you're just infatuating about her. So you say you don't talk to her. So obviously you haven't. So go in there, extend your hand and shake her hand, says, my name is so and so. I really like to know more about you. You intrigue me. What do you do, or what courses you're taking, or some shit that you can come up relating to what she does or whatnot. Something short. And she says, well, my name is this and that. Yeah, I've been here for a while in this school, or, I've seen you around, or don't. And say, okay, that's wonderful. I hope to run into you again. And that's it. Go. Not too long a conversation. Oh, thanks very much. I'm glad that I introduced myself to you. I hope that we run into each other again. Go. Something like that. Start something. Nothing happens. Make a fool out of yourself. What's the big deal? It's for a girl. It's worth it. Chinmay says, sir, the very fear of not being able to down the food, like losing the appetite, wasting it, and disappointing the one who has prepared it. Sometimes I have emetophobia, fear of nausea. So again, it's not clear for me. So you think you may eat it and you don't like it, or you may eat it, you may throw up. But again, if you focus how necessary that nutritional value is to your survival, you'll be more eager and excited to eat it and enjoy it because you want to survive. That food is your fuel for survival. That food is your ticket to health. That food is your ticket to energy to do whatever else it is that you want to do. So you love that food. You want that food. You need that food. You respect and cherish that food. And you're respecting the person who created it by eating it. By not eating it, you're actually disrespecting the person who created this. So be in love with the fact that you want to be healthy. Therefore, for that, you need to eat that food. Therefore, for fact, you can relax and be happy that you have food. So many people around the world don't have anything to eat, and you're worried about you're going to vomit. So vomit. Why would you vomit something that is so necessary for your survival and your health? You got to have these going into your head while you eat it, rather than the stuff that you're telling me that you're worried about. You got to switch this worrying narrative in your head to how important this food is, how carefully it's been prepared, how delicious it will be, how necessary it is, how much I appreciate it, how much I need it. It's going to give me health and the strength, and I can do my other things, and I'm going to love it, and I'm going to enjoy it. It's going to be tasty, and I'm going to have a little bit of tea afterwards. Oh, wow, I'm going to be strong, and I'm going to do my sports and whatever else it is. These are the mentality. You got to change your mindset when you eat and fully focus on that blessings that is in front of you, that people around the world kill each other to get a bit of it because there's not enough food around. And Majid says, male 37, London, 5'8", shoes. Okay, good for you. Shoe size 9. This is a thank you. I appreciate that. Sharaf Edding Ahmad says, male from Morocco. Oh, yeah, okay. And thanks, Miriam, for your answer. You're quite welcome. My pleasure. Yeah, okay, good. All right, looks like we have hit the nail on the head. We've got, so okay, boxing matches, 18 Male, appreciate what you do, Mehran. Tell your mom I said hi. Okay, dear. Thank you very much. I will. All right, guys. It's time for me to actually wrap it up. We're ahead of time. That's great. I'll get ready and go see my mother. I look forward to our next live stream. I thank you very much. Love you all for giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. And again, I look forward to our next live stream. Could be late tonight. I don't know, like about midnight Vancouver time. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind@seekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon.